Switzerland is a landlocked country in the heart of Europe, surrounded by the Alps and full of unique beauty. According to research, it is one of the best countries to be born and live in. It is also a country where the dirtiest money in the world is stored. Historically, while neighboring countries have been devastated by war, and even the whole world has been at war, Switzerland has not experienced any war for centuries. Despite being surrounded by powerful countries, it has been neutral for the last 209 years. Before we start a video to introduce Switzerland, grab your tea and coffee, and let's explore Switzerland together. If you like the video, don't forget to like it. Let's start if you are ready. Switzerland has the second highest standard of living in the world and is one of the 8 happiest countries. Additionally, it boasts the highest average monthly income. However, it has also been the most expensive country to live in for the past 8 years, despite having very few social problems. With a population of 8.6 million, Switzerland is a small country located in the heart of Europe, situated among the Alps, the Swiss Plateau, and the Jura Mountains. Switzerland, with an area of only 41,285 square kilometers, has 4 official languages: German, French, Italian, and Romansh. Despite having a mostly retired population or people of a certain age who have started a family, it has the second longest life expectancy. The country also has a diverse international population, with many people migrating to work or live there. Many qualified foreigners move to this country seeking a better life. According to the Federal Statistical Office, there are 197 different nationalities residing in the country, and 34% of marriages involve partners from different nationalities. Switzerland is ranked as the second best country to start a career and is among the 5 countries with the lowest brain drain. The country has no single head of state. Instead, it is governed by a group of 7 individuals elected from the parties with the highest number of votes. However, the powers of the head of state are limited because Switzerland is the only country in the world with direct democracy. Although Switzerland has no official capital, it has de facto administrative units in the city of Bern. The country has a federal structure and is composed of 26 cantons, each with its own laws, government, parliament, and courts. Switzerland can be seen as a country with independent cantons that have some differences on various issues. For instance, primary school lasts for 6 years in Zurich, but only 5 years in Ticino. Switzerland is one of the few countries that practices direct democracy. As a Swiss citizen, you have the power to challenge the country's laws and propose changes to the constitution. The people have a direct say in all decisions. Switzerland, which has refused to join the European Union for years, practices direct democracy. In 2022, the country held 11 referendums. If the public expresses an opinion on an issue and collects 50,000 signatures within 100 days, a referendum is held. If the referendum is won, the issue becomes official. For existing laws, if 100,000 signatures are collected in 180 days, the law goes to a referendum. It is either repealed or continues in force at the discretion of the people. For instance, a referendum was held in September 2021 to legalize same-sex marriage, with 64% of the population in favor. In 2016, a notable referendum was proposed to give everyone an unconditional monthly salary of CHF 2,500 and an allowance of CHF 625 for children. But 77% of the population rejected the proposal. The reason for the rejection was that it could encourage people to quit their jobs and disrupt the country's economy. Switzerland is described as the most invasion-proof country in the world. Switzerland has maintained a policy of neutrality for centuries, which has led to the country being built with the possibility of invasion in mind. As a result, Switzerland is one of the most secure countries in the world. The mountain passes were the only option for invading Switzerland, as the mountains acted as a natural barrier. To prevent invasion through the Alps, a system was established to destroy all roads leading to the country. This involved setting up 3,000 demolition points, such as bombs planted in bridges, tunnels, highways, and railways. Secret bunkers were carved into the mountains to protect these points, which were also equipped with machine guns and cannons. Switzerland has turned its mountains into a giant fortress. Bunkers, designed to look like barns, and underground connections are present. Fighter jets are even buried under the slopes. The mountains are also designed to trigger landslides with bomb devices. In certain regions of the country, measures have been implemented to prevent tank invasions. One such measure is the Toblerone Line, which consists of 2,700 concrete blocks, each weighing 9 tons. During the Cold War, concerns about the possibility of nuclear war led to the revival of the strategy of digging bunkers. These bunkers were equipped with essential infrastructure, including fully equipped living spaces, medical facilities, and communication centers. Starting in the 1960s, the Swiss government mandated that all new housing developments include hidden bunkers in their basements in case of a nuclear attack. Switzerland has over 370,000 bunkers, capable of accommodating the entire population and more. Switzerland adopted a defensive strategy during World War II to deter a potential Nazi invasion. Despite being perceived as paranoid by the international community, the measures taken proved effective in preventing an invasion. Switzerland's neutrality in wars was primarily motivated by self-interest rather than moral or humanitarian values, and the country cooperated with all sides. This meant that the country did not disclose any information about who held an account or the amount of money in it. Unfortunately, the Nazis took advantage of this law to store the money and gold they had extorted from Jews and others in Switzerland. Additionally, the Germans sold their gold to the Swiss to fund their war efforts. Despite not being directly involved in the war, Switzerland supplied arms and ammunition to those who sought them. Shortly before the Second World War, Switzerland passed a law protecting the secrecy of bank accounts. Years passed after the end of the war, and there were no Nazis or other individuals to reclaim their money and gold. Inheritance was also impossible, as people did not know who had how much money. Instead, all the loot went to Swiss banks, making Switzerland a safe haven for mafias, dictators, tax evaders, corrupt politicians, arms dealers, and other wealthy individuals from around the world. Switzerland's stable economy provides a safe haven for investors, protecting their wealth from global disasters. The country imposes no limits or taxes on the amount of cash that can be brought in or out. Meanwhile, in 2017, the Swiss government introduced regulations to prevent tax evasion in countries with which it has signed agreements, but the tradition of secrecy persists. Switzerland's long-standing reputation has made it a hub for the world's banking and financial sector. Although the country does not require defense, the banking sector they have developed serves as a shield. Speaking of defense, Switzerland has a well-known slogan: "Switzerland has no army, Switzerland is an army." Instead of relying on a professional army, Switzerland has a national system that creates a strong and solid defense through the active participation of its citizens. Although many European countries, such as France, Italy, and Germany, no longer have compulsory military service, Switzerland is one of the few European countries that still maintains it. After completing 18 years of service, individuals receive 3 weeks of training every year until the age of 30, 34 to prevent atrophy. Military service lasts between 245 to 280 days. Women may also choose to participate in voluntary military service. In order to protect the country, those who completed their military service until 2007 were allowed to take home their rifle and a sealed ammunition box. Switzerland has the 4th highest rate of individual armament, with 3 million out of 8.9 million people being armed. The country has 4 official languages. English is spoken by over 60% of the population, and young people are particularly proficient in it. Switzerland boasts one of the world's 8 strongest currencies. While many other currencies lose value against the dollar, the Swiss franc remains stable and even appreciates from time to time. The Swiss franc is the official currency of Liechtenstein. Despite the trend towards a cashless society, Switzerland remains a country where cash is widely used. According to the Swiss National Bank's latest report, 70% of transactions in the country are conducted in cash, and 97% of people still keep cash in their homes or wallets. The country does not have a set military wage, but the minimum salary is around 3,500 francs. However, the average salary in the country is 6,652 francs, and more than 95% of people earn above this amount. Additionally, although not required by law, employees typically receive a bonus equal to 1 month's salary at the end of each year. By law, employees are entitled to at least 4 weeks of paid vacation, but many companies offer 5 weeks. Before discussing average salaries for various professions, it is important to note that salaries and taxes can vary between cantons. Using the figures provided as a baseline, waiters earn around 4,000 francs, nurses earn 6, 7,000 francs, teachers earn 7, 9,000 francs, engineers earn 9, 10,000 francs, and doctors and lawyers earn 15, 20,000 francs. However, it is important to note that these salaries are gross salaries and are subject to Social Security and income tax deductions. Social Security deductions include compulsory old age and survivors, disability, unemployment, and accident insurance, income compensation, and pension funds. Additionally, income tax rates vary from 22.22% to 44.75% depending on the canton. These deductions can range from 11.9% to 17.4%. Tax deductions also vary depending on the canton and individual circumstances, but are generally higher than the European average. Some individuals may pay up to 50% of their income in taxes to the state. All residents of the country, regardless of employment status, are responsible for their own health insurance costs. Neither employers nor the government provide financial assistance. Switzerland has the second highest healthcare expenditure globally, following the United States and Germany. The minimum monthly payment for insurance is 280 francs. Additionally, individuals with insurance must pay above-average fees for medical exams, pharmacies, and medications. Switzerland is the second largest exporter of pharmaceuticals and is home to 2 of the world's top pharmaceutical companies. Additionally, there is a mandatory radio and television tax of 335 francs per year, regardless of whether you own a TV or not. As having a car grants access to radio broadcasts, this tax is almost never paid. It is worth noting that Switzerland has one of the highest gender pay gaps in Europe, with women earning 18.4% less than men. By the way, it wasn't until 1971 that women were granted the right to vote. Switzerland ranks 4th in the world in terms of annual income per capita, with approximately $99,000, nearly 3 times the European average, according to a report published by the International Monetary Fund in April 2023. Switzerland is the most expensive country in the world, with 7 of the top 10 most expensive cities located there. For many, living in Switzerland means spending as much as you earn due to high costs of living and salaries. However, one of the biggest drawbacks of living in Switzerland is the high cost of real estate. A 2019 study revealed that despite their high salaries, most Swiss are unable to afford their own homes. Around 60% of people rent property instead of buying it. In Zurich and Geneva, this percentage increases to 80%. The sale price of a 3-room apartment varies from 1.5 to 3 million francs depending on its location. To make ends meet, a family of 4 needs to earn at least 8,000 francs. According to the Federal Statistical Office's 2019 report, it costs at least 500,000 francs to raise 2 children in Switzerland. In 2018, Swiss families spent 41% of their net income on childcare. This means that only affluent individuals can survive in this area. However, if someone has worked for a year, they can receive 80% of their previous salary as unemployment benefits for 18 months. In Switzerland, approximately 95% of students attend public schools, with compulsory education typically starting at age 4. Children attend kindergarten for 2 years, and then study for an additional 9 years, completing 11 years of compulsory education. Around 70% of families enroll their babies in kindergarten between the ages of 3 and 4 months. After completing compulsory education, students can choose between 2 paths: the traditional path, which involves a training process to prepare for university, or an alternative. The vocational training and internship programs are chosen by students based on their interests and fields of study. This allows them to enter the workforce in a shorter period of time. Educational institutions partner with employers to provide students with the necessary skills and experience. This enables graduates to quickly adapt to the world of work within 2 to 4 years. Around 70% of students nationwide choose this apprenticeship pathway. The Swiss working population is filtered by these two training models, making it much more selective. In addition to their mother tongue, students are taught the official language of the country in all schools. English is also taught to ensure that the population is proficient in 3 languages. What are the Swiss like in general? They are generally very organized and scheduled. In addition to business meetings, they plan weeks in advance when they will meet friends and even family. No one asks someone, "Shall we meet tonight?" Uninvited visits are considered rude, no matter how close you are. At the same time, they are very polite. For example, if they are going to be 4 minutes late for a meeting, they always let the other party know. The Swiss have always valued the concept of time. They are the motherland of the watch, and Swiss brands consistently rank in the top 10 of the world's highest quality watch brands. Watchmaking is considered a family tradition rather than a business. Foreigners living in the country describe the Swiss as slow and calm. They plan every aspect of their lives to avoid rushing and live a more deliberate lifestyle. Swiss people stand out for their perfectionist nature and sensitivity towards order. They are known for their commitment to finishing what they start and doing it with precision. They do not tolerate excuses and try to avoid people who constantly complain. This is the 6th country where making friends is most difficult. The culture is more individualistic, which can make it challenging for foreigners to form friendships initially. But in time, they say they have made good friends. In fact, the key to approaching the Swiss is to respect their culture and live accordingly. Most people never know their neighbors, but it is quite normal to greet each other when walking down the street. It is considered very rude to ask someone what they do for a living and how much money they earn. People do not share their salaries with family members or even very close friends, and public displays of wealth are frowned upon. By the way, cleanliness and order are highly valued here. Switzerland is one of the 3 cleanest countries in the world and has the highest quality tap water, along with 5 other countries. Unlike many European countries, Swiss people remove their shoes when entering a house. Even the gardens of their homes must be maintained, as the state inspects trees and may require their removal if the municipality allows it. If you neglect your garden, the state will take care of it and charge you a fee. The Swiss population is known for being particularly fit and healthy. Many people take up sports as a hobby, such as jogging at dawn or commuting to work by bicycle. Due to their geography, skiing is a popular activity, and Swiss parents often teach their children this sport from a young age. Additionally, Swiss parents instill a sense of responsibility in their children from an early age. Switzerland is widely regarded as one of the happiest countries in the world, thanks to its high standard of living and social structure. However, the country does face some challenges, such as a higher than average suicide rate compared to Europe and the rest of the world. Until the 1980s in Switzerland, orphan children who had been separated from their illegitimate parents or were in prison were confiscated by the state and sold to work in the fields at church bazaars. These children, who were presented to the public as rescued but were actually sold as slaves, included children as young as 4 years old. They were forbidden to wear shoes to distinguish them from other children. If you have ever seen the famous Swiss cartoon, Come On. The reason why Heidi doesn't wear shoes is a reference to the slave children who lived in stables with animals. These children were never fed, were raped and abused, were forced to work, and became an ordinary part of social life. It is estimated that more than 300,000 children died in this way. Despite all the talk about human rights, many countries have a dark past. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to my channel and like the video to stay updated on future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.